Welcome to the Business Building Blocks podcast, where we talk about struggles and celebrations that leaders and entrepreneurs experience on their journey to success. I'm your host, Kristina, and I'm passionate about helping you achieve massive amounts of success at work and at home. We'll talk about all things people and organizational wellness, share relatable stories, and feature insightful guests because quality people and processes are at the heart of every success story. Ready to learn, grow, and have fun? Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to the Business Building Blocks podcast. I'm your host, Kristina Schmitt. So today I'm going to talk about a question and really something I hear a lot from clients, from just people I'm chatting with, from tons of people. And in all honesty, I felt it myself. So it is, my business is successful, but I'm miserable. Yes, this happens so much more than we really think that it does, because some people are, they're tied to, oh, my business is doing great, I must be happy. And they sometimes project that out to other people. But when they really start to look at themselves, they see that they're running around constantly on their cell phone, trying to stay connected because they just feel like the whole place is going to fall apart when they're not around, or everybody's calling them all the time because they need them for decisions or they need them for something. And they're losing holiday time, they're losing vacation time, they're losing weekends and evenings and time with family and times for the thing that life. They're losing life. And that kills me and pains me so much. So if you're feeling like this, I need you to listen to this episode. And if it speaks to you, share it with someone else that you know is feeling this, and not to try to toot my own horn, but at the same, come reach out to me. I can help you, because it's not, the fix for this is not instant. There is going to be some really quick wins that you can get, but there might be a longer view and a longer plan. If you don't start today, it doesn't get done. So let's get into it. I'm going to give you, again, practical things. Some stuff will give you relief now. And that's what I want you to focus on right now as like a carrot and a quick win. But ultimately, there is a bigger picture that has to do with some of the things that we do to get in our own way, and maybe some structures and systems we need to get set up. So the first thing, if you're feeling this way, if you're saying, oh my gosh, I'm so miserable, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go find out what your working geniuses and your working frustrations are. Super easy. You can pop onto my website and grab one, or you can pop onto the Working Genius website and you can grab one. It's the same thing either way, but just go get yourself one because it's going to be so eye-opening as to why you're frustrated in your job, or why you get so angry about it. In fact, this is actually the very reason that Working Genius was put together, discovered, however you want to talk about it. But essentially, Patrick Lencioni, one of the co-founders of the Table Group, he was constantly getting miserable because he was getting on calls and he was constantly galvanizing people, and he would just get crabby about it. Somebody with the genius of wonder said, why are you like this? And boom, set off all of his invention. And they created this model that has helped thousands of people and helped get clarity, helped get higher productivity, and just helped them live their lives the way that they are intended to, the way God designed us to. So dig into this, just find this out, because when we have an answer to it, we will likely see some clarity. So if you find that you are spending more time in your competencies and frustrations, if you don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about this, there are several Working Genius episodes. Go ahead and hop on to one of those. I will explain to you, but the quick lowdown is that there are 6 stages of work, and they're identified as working geniuses. So 6 types of working genius. We are all gifted naturally with 2 geniuses, 2 competencies, and 2 frustrations. So these geniuses, they give us joy and energy when we do them. So it is the stages of work, the type of work that bring us joy and energy. So this is where we might go to more automatically. And it's going to be the type of work that we could sit and do all day long. And it doesn't matter if we're hungry, we're totally energized by doing it. And we could do it all day long, no matter what. We might be really tired by the end because we've totally exhausted ourselves. But overall, you're going to feel more energy. You're going to be excited to go back and do it again. It's good. It's where you are designed to spend your time. On the other side of that, you have 2 frustrations, which drain all of your joy and energy. And And if you do them for like a minute, you might get very frustrated, or you might just avoid them altogether. And then you have those two in the middle that are kind of, don't bring you energy, don't drain your energy instantly. But if you had to do them all day, you would be drained. So if you're spending most of your time in those kind of bottom four for you, you're going to feel burnt out. You're going to be miserable. You're going to be grumpy, crabby, whatever you want to say. You're not going to be happy, whether your business is successful or not. And the truth is especially when we start businesses, we've got to go on full kilter all the time because we are doing everything. We're wearing every single hat, especially if you started it on your own and then grown. But even if you started it with a team, everybody's doing everything and you're just doing it to get it done. You're getting it across the finish line and it's like, just go, go, go all the time. And that's great for a period of time, but you will burn out. You will get tired. You will get tired of it. And if you grow to the point where it's successful and you have a team, it doesn't work anymore because it's going to frustrate everybody and it's going to keep you locked into that business all the time. So what do? You figure out your working geniuses and look at your day. Are you having to, like, if your geniuses are invention and discernment, are you spending all of your time getting employees to do something, working on the marketing, trying to figure out what's gone wrong with something, which might be very joyful to you. But are you spending all of your day doing like admin style work, like having to like do things with the accounting or review finances or follow up with items? Like if you're doing that all day long and you're an inventor and discerner, you're going to be miserable because you don't get to invent. You might discern here and there, but you're missing it, that whole one huge part of it, which is a pretty prominent genius. So you need to do something here. So there are many steps that we can take when we find that you're just kind of out of whack with your geniuses. So there's no magic number that we want to get to or we need to get to, but ideally you're spending more than half of your time. So if you can say 51% at least, maybe 60% would be better, that kind of thing. But you can't spend 100%. So don't expect to. You're still going to have to do these other things. You just want to be the majority of your time in your genius world. So this is what we would do. We would look at your geniuses and we'd say, is there anything you shouldn't be doing anyway? Because truth be told, many leaders do things that they shouldn't be doing. And I'm not just talking about time wasters, but I'm talking about sitting in meetings where there is somebody who's actually there who's supposed to do it. And the owner or the leader sits in because they like it, or they sit in because they feel like they should, or they sit in because that's how they keep their finger on the pulse. So look for that first. Are there things that you should not be doing? You may or may not be able to just stop doing them. You might have to create a plan, transition out, figure out who is running it, make sure that, no balls are getting dropped. So it might not be instant, but create a solid exit strategy and get out of there. Stop doing those things. Another thing that we would do is we'd want to look at your whole team map. Get the working genius for everybody. It's literally $25 US. Easy. Get your whole team map and have a look, because there might be somebody who is chomping at the bit to do those parts of your job that you hate. And especially when you're the owner, you can have anybody do anything in reality. Like CEO being CEO doesn't mean you have to do anything. Like you have to do certain things. Yes, you need to know what's happening. You need to be the ultimate, like, this is the way the business is going kind of decision maker, but that doesn't need to be 80% of your job. You need to figure out how you can structure your job so it's sustainable for you, because you may not be able to take a vacation every single month to refresh from, 2 weeks worth of work. That probably is not going to be a sustainable system, but maybe it is. I don't know. Depends on your business and what kind of structures you set up for it. But look at these geniuses, figure out, okay, where am I spending my time? Can I let go of anything? Second, can I delegate anything to somebody who's already on my team who has this genius that's not being fully utilized? Okay, great. And third, say we've done these things and you're still piled on with competency and frustration work, or there's no one to take it in your whole business. You may need to rework things and bring somebody in who can help with that. It might be hiring like a COO, somebody like if you're, wonder invention and trying to run this business and tenacity is like solo, you're tripping over it. You might need someone to help you run things. And you can be up high in the sky doing, your invention sort of stuff. Check in on those, key meetings, make sure somebody gets you into those meetings so you know what's going on. But if you're like, you're not going to be happy if you're spending 75% of your time running the business, kind of cracking the whip behind people, even like giving recognition to people all the time and having to like do consistent coaching sessions, like that's going to be very hard and draining on you. And that's okay. But we need to get somebody doing it because your team is not going to function well if somebody's not doing it. So this will take a little bit longer of a plan to get somebody in place, figure out, do you have the funds to do it? If you don't, what do we need to do to get the funds in there so you can hire somebody? How do you raise revenue? What do you do? So you've got to look at that as well. So having a staged approach to getting yourself functioning more in your geniuses than in your competencies and frustrations. So that is step one. Step two. So that's kind of the easy part, okay? But it's a great place to start. But maybe you find that, hey, I do a lot of genius work still, but I'm still miserable. So the next question I want you to ask yourself is, what did I expect business ownership or leadership to look like? And I want you to get as detailed as you can, like write it down, make a big journal. What did I expect it to look like? And just write all of that down and then pause, maybe take a break, do it the next day. What does it look like? Just journal that out. Brain dump everything. What does it look like? And then try to understand this gap. Father Mike Schmitz, he's the Bible in a Year guy. If anybody hasn't listened to that, he says expectations can be the killer of joy. And I have an episode with Melanie and Jenny from a long time ago where we talk about good and bad expectations. And sometimes these expectations that maybe aren't realistic can steal joy from where we are today. Like maybe you expected to have, all of this freedom and vacation and like you expected like work to just come easily and that sort of thing, but it's just not. And then you're getting stuck in this like shame around that. You're getting stuck in this, when will it get easier? And I mean, maybe it won't. Like the reality is if you stop trying to get clients or trying to get customers in the door, or trying to invent new things or whatever your business does, if you stop doing that, you might not have customers anymore. There is like, while you want it to be easy, and yes, success might look like in your style of business, success might look like customers come to you, which is fantastic. And that's great. And there are a lot of businesses like that, but there are a lot that are not. So you might have to say, okay, well, maybe that's an unreasonable expectation, or figure what's getting in the way of that being your reality now. So it's kind of twofold with this one. And this is one where you might have to do some reflecting, some talking to some other people, or, thinking around it. But you may have had these expectations and the reality might look very different. And there's likely somewhere in between that is your potential reality. Like, if you want to be traveling the world half the time of the year, that might be very possible. You just need to get your revenue up and get someone in place to do the things that you're not doing because you're not there, right? So there's probably a way. You just have to do it. So this is where understanding like what you expected it to look like and trying to see if these expectations were actually they're kind of stealing your joy right now. And then saying, okay, what's actually getting in my way of functioning there? And what I will typically find when I work with clients on this is that there are some structures and systems that, might not seem important to do, but they're necessary if you want some level of freedom. And what I find a lot is that there are many business owners, especially the ones that have come in and built it from the ground up, who struggle with that because a lot of them do have this invention. Or they just have done everything and it's literally like trying to let your baby go and go do the things out in the world. It's hard. But as a leader, you have to start thinking of your team as extra appendages for you. So you've hired people to do these things, but what you have to do is do the next best thing. So you have to translate to them what your vision for the entire company is, what your values are, how you want to be functioning, and then give them some confines and structures and boundaries to make decisions with. Because until you do that, they're going to always have to come to you again to ask these questions or to get you to answer these questions or to get your take on it, because they might think you're going to be really annoyed with them if they make some decision without you and, and it's wrong for whatever reason. So you have to give these structures and put these structures in place. That might feel hard and it might feel fluffy, maybe like putting your values down on paper. But the reality is that if you are looking at your schedule and you're looking at your day and you're saying, I need more freedom from this, because a lot of times when people are miserable, maybe it's not even the first two things where, well, maybe it's part of number two and number one, maybe it's a combination, but essentially you're doing everything still. And you have this team, and your expectation of having freedom from being your own boss is so far from your reality that you are just completely burnt out. You're not living your life. You're just living to work. You've created yourself a job. So Michael Gerber in the E-Myth talks about this. Like, a lot of people started their own business and all they've done is created a job for themselves rather than creating a business that functions so that they can continue to grow it or get some freedom and actually live. So it is about putting these systems in place. So some starting points there are figuring out, okay, what do we do? How do we do it? So figuring out your values, figuring out exactly the things that you do, and then figuring out kind of your strategic objectives. So great book for walking you through this is Patrick Lencioni's The Advantage. He talks through these 6 critical questions. This is also something that I do work with teams doing, where I walk them through figuring out these 6 critical questions for themselves, and then taking it into a place where they can set up a weekly meeting structure where the meeting is actually effective and impactful, and they get the things done that they said they were going to do. And that's how you're going to move it forward. So if you'd like to get started on that, grab that book or reach out to me, because that is something that I love to help people with, that I love to help them just get some clarity on, and to just be able to say it very easily. And then when you bring somebody on board, you just say, hey, this is how we do it. This is what we do. And they can see it function that way as well, because it's real. You're really working on these things. You're really functioning the way your values state that you're functioning. You don't have like 15 values listed on the board that are like, oh, we're going to be nice to people. We're going to treat people with respect. We're going to, deliver on time. Like, those are great, but like, do they really define anything? Like, we want to talk about the ones that really define how you do things and really give people some clarity in decisions and how they should be functioning, how they should be treating people, and how they should be working together as a team. So if you're feeling this down in the dumps way, try some of these things. Go grab your working genius, do some journaling about what you originally expected to happen and what's currently happening, and really dig into, are you in places where you shouldn't be? How do you get out of them? If you'd also like to just chat through it with me, reach out. You can book a call right on my website and we can just chat. We can just talk through what is going on, and you will get some clarity from that phone call alone. So I look forward to chatting with you about it. And if you enjoyed the episode today, please like it, share it with a friend, share it with somebody who is miserable in their very successful business. And I will see you in the next episode of the Business Building Blocks podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to the Business Building Blocks podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's next. If you found value in our conversation, please leave a quick review, like, or share. It helps us reach more amazing listeners like you. For more resources and insights, visit KristinaSchmitt.ca, where you can find tools and support to empower your leadership journey. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.